כי אשמר השבת אל ישמרני, כי אשמר השבת אל ישמרני, אותי לעולמי עד בינו וביני, אותי לעולמי עד בינו וביני, כי אשמר השבת אל ישמרני, כי אשמר השבת אל ישמרני.
Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to Temple Emanu-El's Friday night service. I'm Rabbi Andy Kahn, joined by Cantor Emerita Lori Corrsin and Rabbi Rachel Gross-Prinz. Thank you for joining us this evening. As the Cantor just sang, Shabbat gives us an opportunity to not only come together as a community as we are right now, albeit distanced, but to remember our own relationship to the eternal and to lean on it a little bit. The whole goal of Shabbat is to remember that we actually can lean on God. That's the whole reason we rest. So each of us needs something different this Shabbat. Each of us has had our own week, even if we shared them with our loved ones. I'm going to invite you to sit back, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, and think about what would make this Shabbat a Shabbat of perfect rest for you. Good Shabbos. Our prayer book is available on our website at emmanuelnyc.org/broadcast. And we are starting on page 9 with the candle blessing. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
We continue on page 44. We've come together to strengthen our bonds with our people Israel. Like Jews of generations past, we celebrate the grandeur of creation. Like Jews of every age, we echo our people's ancient call for justice. Our celebration is a sharing of memory and hope. We are Jews, but each of us is unique. We stand apart and alone with differing feelings and insights, and yet we are not entirely alone and separate, for we are children of one people and one heritage. Our celebration unites many separate selves into a single chorus, and we are one in search of life's meaning. All of us know despair and exaltation, all bear burdens, all have moments of weakness and times of strength, all sing songs of sorrow and love. May our celebration bring us strength along our way. In this circle of hope, in the presence of the sacred, may the heart come to know itself and its best, finding a fresh impulse to love the good. May our celebration lead us to work for the good, and may the Shabbat give strength to us and to our people, Israel. Continue with the Baruch on page 45.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
O God, how can we know you? Where can we find you? You are as close to us as breathing, yet you are farther than the farthermost star. You are as mysterious as the vast solitudes of the night, yet as familiar to us as the light of the sun. To Moses you said, "You cannot see my face, but I will make all my goodness pass before you." Even so does your goodness pass before us, in the realm of nature and in the varied experiences of our lives. When justice burns like a flaming fire within us, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when, to the last full measure of selfless devotion, we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then your goodness enters our lives. Then you live within our hearts, and we, through righteousness, behold your presence. We say together, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be upon thy heart. Thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes. Thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thy house and upon thy gates, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto thy God. I, the Lord, am thy God, who led thee out of Egypt to be thy God. I, the Lord, am thy God. I, the Eternal, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations. We are Israel, witness to the covenant between God and God's children. This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you will be my people. We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possessions or power. You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal. I am God, there is none else. We are Israel. Our prophets proclaimed an exalted vision for the world. Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed. You shall not oppress your neighbors nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbor bleeds. We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace. Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children shall be taught of the Eternal, and great shall be the peace of your children. We are Israel, O God, when we are witnesses to your will and messengers of your truth. You are my witnesses, says the Eternal, and my servant whom I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me. We are Israel, O God, when we proclaim you the God of freedom, as did our ancestors on the shores of the sea.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות, אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות, אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לבני משה, זה אלי, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
As you have redeemed our people Israel and enabled us to prevail over arms stronger than our own, so may you give hope to all who are oppressed and persecuted. We praise you, eternal God, Redeemer of Israel. Cause us, eternal our God, to lie down in peace and to awaken each morning to renew life and strength. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Help us to order our lives by your counsel and lead us in the paths of righteousness. Be a shield about us, protecting us from hate and war, from pestilence and sorrow. Curb also within us the inclination to do evil, and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Guard our going out and our coming in unto life and peace from this time forth and forever. Blessed is the Eternal, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all people, and over Jerusalem.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
We continue with the Amidah on page 51.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
Eternal God, the power of your Spirit pervades all creation. When we open our hearts to you, we are filled with your strength, the strength to bear our afflictions, the strength to refuse them victory, the strength to overcome them. And then our will is renewed to lift up the fallen, to set free the captive, to heal the sick, to bring light to all who dwell in darkness. Add your strength to ours, O God, so that when death casts its shadow, we shall yet be able to say, O source of blessing, you are with us in death as in life. May the sense of God's presence be with us along our way, helping us to discover the peace and rest some have lost or never known, renewing our covenant of peace with all created things. And may we become more than we have been, more than we are, reaching for a perfection beyond our grasp, growing and learning one day to make this day's peace a peace for all days, learning one day to do justly and love mercy and walk alongside the one who walks with us. As we pray for peace, we also pray for that which will bring peace, healing, healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the spirit. If there's anyone you're thinking of this evening in need of such healing, alongside those all over the world we know are recovering, hopefully quickly, from this horrible pandemic, please share the names of those you love in need of healing. All names will be heard. We continue with our song for healing, the Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We now turn our thoughts inside for a moment of reflection, a moment of silent prayer.
Oh, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable unto you, O God, my rock and my redeemer, my rock and my redeemer, my rock and my redeemer.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This Shabbat, I want to share with you a story from a colleague of mine named Billy. Billy is the founder of a nonprofit called Etgar 36. Etgar means challenge. And he has taken many of our Emanu-El teens on civil rights journeys to New Orleans, Memphis, and more. And a core piece of his work is bringing young people into dialogue with the world around them, especially bringing them into contact with those who may be from different backgrounds or hold worldviews that are different from their own. He teaches us on these journeys all how to have difficult conversations. And when he shared this story of a recent difficult conversation he had, I knew that I wanted to share it with you this Shabbat. This is Billy's story. Billy was recently walking the loop through a cemetery near his home when two women were walking side by side, taking up most of the road between them, but not wearing masks. Billy stepped off the road, and I can imagine, because Billy's a friendly person, smiled and waited for them to pass. One woman, her name is Judy, was using an umbrella, though it was not raining, and motioned that Billy could walk by them on the road. It was no problem. But Billy said, "I'll wait, you go ahead." And Judy responded, "Is it the mask thing?" And Billy said, "Yes, it is." Judy responded that she doesn't like wearing them while exercising, and especially in the heat. And she emphasized the heat and the sun by shaking her open umbrella towards the sky. Billy responded to her in kind, lamenting about the heat and remarking that she was smart to use an umbrella to create some shade. And Judy said, "Well, the umbrella is better than sweating with sunscreen on, too." At this, Billy asked and decided to engage with Judy. He asked her, "Can I ask you a question? How is it that you know to block the sun for health, but you don't wear the mask? Isn't it kind of the same thing?" Judy responded, I don't see it as the same thing. We know being exposed to the sun can cause cancer. The mask is a personal choice for me." Billy responded, "But what we know of the virus is it is spreadable, so your personal choice impacts the collective, meaning me and others." Judy responded, saying that she wasn't a scientist, and asked if Billy was a health expert. And he responded, I can imagine again with a smile, perhaps gesturing at his frame, saying, "No, look at me. Do I look like a health expert?" They laughed together, and Judy asked Billy what he did for a living. And he shared. He teaches young people how to have difficult conversations and learn about the civil rights struggles in this country. And he asked about what she did as well. They got to know each other. Judy shared that she was a stay-at-home mom, but at one time was in banking. She claimed that what she did was not as interesting or as noble as what Billy did. Billy said, "I don't know. I work with teens, so parenting is a noble profession to me, especially if you raise good kids. But did you like banking?" And Judy said she did, which prompted Billy to make himself vulnerable and share with Judy a little more. He said to her, "Well, in banking, you found what you liked, and that's great. I was lucky to do that too. And not being able to do that right now is painful. And that's why getting control of the virus is personal to me, and why people wearing a mask is personal too. The decision to block the sun is a personal one, because it is only the person who does or doesn't do it that is impacted." Their conversation ended as Judy's friend took a mask out of her pocket and put it on, and Judy told Billy that she had one in her car and would wear it to help Billy out. Would that all of our difficult conversations went this smoothly and made us feel more connected to another person rather than distant from them. This sermon is not about mask wearing, but it is about what mask wearing or not wearing can teach us about the state of American culture and society in which we live. When I read Billy's description of this conversation earlier this week, I remembered a more ancient version that's documented in the Talmud, the thousands-year-old collection of Jewish stories, laws, and conversations that is sacred to our people. The anonymous narrator of the Talmud shares the following details. An incident occurred involving a certain person. This person was throwing stones from his property into the public property surrounding his own. A certain reverent man looked around and found this property owner, and this deeply religious man said to him, and this is somewhat edgy language for a Jewish text, "You lowlife, for what reason are you throwing stones from property that is not yours into your property? Why are you throwing stones from property that is not yours into your property?" The stone-throwing man was confused. You can imagine him looking at this pious man with a cocked head thinking, "You fool, I am on my property. What are you talking about?" And the Talmud tells us that indeed he ended up mocking the pious one because he did not understand what he meant, as the property from which he was throwing stones was his. And yet, the stone thrower's inability to even understand what this pious person was saying is exactly the point. He could not understand how property he held a deed for was not entirely his, and how the public domain was one to which he was also intimately connected. Last Shabbat, we celebrated the 4th of July, a celebration of the birth of our country, a day celebrating independence and freedom. And yet this year, some of us are waking up belatedly to the awareness of the ways in which descendants of those on whose back this country was built did not benefit as fully from its espoused liberties. As Frederick Douglass framed it in his 4th of July speech delivered in Rochester in 1852, he wrote, "Your high independence only reveals the immeasurable distance between us. The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought light and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice. I must mourn." This imbalance of pain and joy is apparent too in our Torah portion this week, which portrays the Israelites trying to figure out and allot land for their eventual arrival in the Promised Land. We see the ways in which they sought to live out ideals of justice and equality, which they were deprived in Egypt. As the authorities are assigning allotments of land to the fathers of each house, a group of women come forward, asking how they will receive their inheritance. For their father died in the wilderness after being freed from Egypt, and they have no father or brothers. Given that the authorities insist that inheritance must flow through male relations, how will they acquire a place in the land? But God's justice for them is swift. He tells Moses unequivocally to grant them their father's holding in the Promised Land as an inheritance. Win for the women, right? Not so fast. For as we know, humans, and certainly those who have endured trauma, have a tendency also to self-protect. to seek safety and security. Fight or flight and protectionism kicks in, and choices are made that betray those ideals of justice and equality. Just a few short chapters after the women are granted their inheritance by God, these daughters are told that they will inherit their father's portion only if they marry within their original tribe. This occurs in order to lock the land and wealth and power within the family. So the daughters, lacking marital choice, end up marrying their uncles. The point is clear. The case of these courageous daughters goes very quickly from one of an expansive, restorative ruling with the potential to rectify trauma and ensure the future of a vulnerable group of people to one that justifies the monopolization of wealth and power by some at the expense of others. The rabbis, much later than the Torah was written, attempt to navigate their way through how to think about ownership, independence, and freedom in tandem with responsibility to others. They too felt the tension that is apparent in these two bookends of a story. The rabbis say in Pirkei Avot that there are 4 types of human beings. The first is the commonplace person who says, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. Then there is the Am Haaretz, the person of the land, perhaps simple-minded, who says, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. And then there's the wicked person who says, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. But lastly, the reverent one, the pious one, says, what's mine is yours, and yours is yours. At this moment of celebration of the birth of our country and increased awareness of its brokenness, I ask us this Shabbat to consider which of these we see reflected in those around us and which we want to be. This Shabbat, in asking the question and even attempting an answer, we create a celebration of interdependence. Interdependence is simply defined as the process by which interacting people influence one another's experience. Despite our distance, the coronavirus pandemic and the movement for racial justice have forced a necessary, if overwhelming, awareness of the ways in which interacting people do influence one another's experience. Interdependence is not counterfactual or contradictory of independence, but sometimes in prioritizing or reaching for the latter, we fool ourselves into forgetting that the former is just a truth of life. If we are all to attempt reverence, we can acknowledge that what's mine is yours, that I am an independent, sentient human being who has agency and power, and what I do with that independence and power influences your lived experience. And yet, what's yours is yours. For the rabbis, they understood this in terms of tzedakah. Just because I give you tzedakah, you don't owe me anything in return. Not a smile, not a favor. My vulnerability is not to be exploited, as it was in the case of the daughters of the Torah, who could inherit their land, but at the expense of marital choice. So let us return to our stone thrower. Do you remember the one who was throwing stones from his property into the public area around him? And the pious man came and told him, why are you throwing stones from property that's not yours into property that's yours? Some days after this interaction, the pious man, he was forced to sell his field from which he had thrown the stones. As he was walking in the same public area into which he had thrown them, he stumbled on those same stones. And he finally said to himself, that pious man said it well to me when he said, for what reason are you throwing stones from property that is not yours into your own property, since that property no longer belongs to me and only the public domain remains mine to use. While we are independent, free people, we are at once interdependent, influencing forever one another's experiences all the same, even from a distance. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is to acknowledge that we sit in human relationship together as one. Shabbat Shalom.
Hine ma tov u'manayim, hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad, gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Oh, how good it is. Oh, how good it is, and how sweet to be together. Oh, how good it is to be with you. To be with you as one.
We continue with the adoration on page 104.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא פרשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 105. Where there are ignorance and superstition, let there be enlightenment and knowledge. Where there are prejudice and hatred, let there be acceptance and love. Where there are fear and suspicion, let there be confidence and trust. Where there are tyranny and oppression, let there be freedom and justice. Where there are poverty and disease, let there be prosperity and health. Where there are strife and discord, let there be harmony and peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
This week, the Jewish community all over the world observed a day of mourning, the 17th of Tammuz, which commemorates the day when the walls of the temple were breached prior to its destruction. In this Shabbat, we remember our own personal moments of mourning. those moments when we have lost loved ones, the ways in which the walls feel that they are breached and something is going away that will never return in the same way again. In this Shabbat, we remember. Page 109. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. This week, as a Temple Emanu-El community, we remember the following loved ones: Malcolm Babin, Harry Belgorod, Sylvia K. Brownstone, Marvin J. Cohen, Jacob Krantz, Jack David, David Davis, David Disick, Lotta Fishbein, Arthur Fixler, Albert Frankel, Eileen Leslie Fryman, Randolph Guggenheimer Jr., Belle Hammerschlag, Helen Jurek, Ruth Pearl Kahn, Edward Kleinbard, Benjamin Korn, Sidney Littman, Edward J. Lloyd, Joseph L. Mailman, Beatrice Marcus, Bertha Stern Morris, Milton Meister, Nancy Pierce, Joseph Held Rothschild, Florence Schwartzman, Paul Steinberg, Clara Winter, and Jenny Zimilis. If you are mourning a recent loss, please share their name aloud. All names will be heard. You can also write them in the comments on Facebook. We remember with you if you are in a period of recent mourning. If you're commemorating a yahrzeit or the anniversary of a death, we remember with you in this moment of your year that you will never forget. We pray as one the mourner's Kaddish for all those who are among the rising cases of deaths as a result of coronavirus. We send comfort and peace and hope to their mourners as we say together Kaddish Yatom on page 111. Yit Gadal V'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah V'Alma Divrach Yirutei V'Amlich Malchutei V'Chayechon V'Yomechon V'Chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala V'Zman Kariv V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olmei Almaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitromam V'Yitnaseh V'Yithadar V'Yithaleh V'Yithalal Shmei D'Kudesha B'Richu Le'elam Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechemata Da'amiran Be'alma V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Imromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn among us and comfort to all who are bereaved this week. As we say together, Amen.
Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Once again, to all of you, from our homes to yours, all over the world, it seems, from the comments on the Facebook page. We have a few announcements before we conclude. Tomorrow morning, Shabbat continues with Torah study at 9:15 a.m., followed by services at 10:30. On Monday evening at 6:30 p.m., you can join the virtual Stryker Center for Somebody Feed Phil, when you can listen to Phil Rosenthal reminisce about his culinary journeys. On Wednesday, the parenting program invites parents-to-be to join us at 10 a.m. for a discussion about all the joys that are ahead. There are only joys. If you are expecting or know someone who is, please share this information with them. And on Wednesday evening at 6 p.m., we welcome our teens for a discussion about racial justice, led and facilitated by one of our teens herself, Leah Goldstein. I will also be there with Rachel Brumberg from our religious school. And next Friday, please join us for a young family Shabbat at 4 p.m. with Tekiah. Friends, we are all listening and learning. A reading list with links to articles and videos under the title Anti-Racist Resource Guide is now available through the e-news or on our website for all who wish to learn about inequity in this country. The list is only a starting point, but taking a look at it will help you celebrate interdependence as well as independence this week. For more information about all the events I mentioned and so many more, you're welcome to head to our website, emmanuelnyc.org, or give us a call, 212-744-1400. We hope to connect with you online soon and often. We now continue with the raising of our glasses with Kiddush on page 113.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemase v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu Kiddashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. We continue with our closing song, Adon Olam, which you can find on page 119. If you don't have our prayer book in front of you, you can Google the words, I'm sure. We sing together.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'et nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra v'acharei kiklot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hove v'hu yiyeh b'tifara v'hu echad v'ein sheni lehamshilo lehachbira b'li reshit b'li tachlit v'lo ha'oz v'hamisra v'hu eli v'chai goali v'tzorchev li beitzara v'hu nisi umanos li minat kosi b'yom ekra b'yado afkid ruchi V'yetishan v'ya'ira, v'im ruchi geviyati, Adonai li v'lo ira. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be kind to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom.
And when God's light does shine upon you, may it bring you peace.
Amen.